All right. Before I smoke this cigar, I'm going to add one to my memoirs. I've been slowly starting to build up to this. I hope I get real serious about it, but I'm just trying to collect my memories before they're all gone. Anyways, Southern Baptist disorder. My very, very first visit to the VA psychiatrist. First time I finally said, things ain't firing on all the same cylinders, something's wrong, check me out. So I show up at the VA, Nashville, and they take me into a room, and the doctor comes in. He's young, he's Indian, it appears, he's Hindu, and it becomes obvious as soon as he says, please do sit down. And I'm like, please do sit down. Okay. So I sat down, and I'm trying to keep an open mind. And he opens up the computer, and he starts just going down the diagnostic system in the computer. Starts out with my header information. You're Bonnie Carrie D, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, we were struggling to get through that because he couldn't pronounce my name or nothing, but I knew what he was asking, so it kind of scooted along. He asked me what I did in the Army. I told him infantry. We'll go to He took him a minute, and he got infantry put in there. And I said, yeah. And while he was trying to put infantry in, and I said, yeah, before I was infantry, I was a guitar player. Better go. And he finally got infantry in. He says, what else did you do? And I told him guitar player. It might say musician or band. And he, and he starts in, typing again. He finally finds something he puts in his band or musician or whatever. And he turns around and he says, you have Rosentoss. And last thing I said to him, I was a guitar player, and I thought maybe he was an amateur musician or just a curious George. And, the violin, the cello, many of the other bow-drawn stringed instruments do use rosin. And so I thought he was asking me, does the guitar use rosin? No, guitar doesn't use rosin. That's violin, cello, blah, blah, blah. No. You have Rosenthal. Well, slowing it down didn't make it any clearer. And I looked at him kind of confused, and he said, "Oh, Rosenthal," and he was literally making the crazy sound to me. "Oh, you have Rosenthal, toss the rods, racing thoughts." Oh yeah, racing thoughts. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got a bunch of racing thoughts right now. I did, and I'm starting to get a little upset now. I'm starting to think, here I am to be analyzed and hopefully diagnosed and maybe a prescription or whatever. This is my very first time. I still think the VA knows what they're doing. Of course, I know better now, but I'm getting pretty upset and thinking I need to keep calm, And he turns around and he says, "Come here, cat. I'll let you out over here." He turns around and he looks at me and he says, "Does any of your families suffer from mental illness?" I think he said something like, "Your family history of mental illness." And I'm just coming off this making the crazy sign at me. Now he's asking me my family's history of mental illness, and I'm thinking, man, you can try to peg this all on, I'm just crazy, born that way, and I started to get a little upset, and I decided, no, I'll deflect with humor. I'm going to stay calm, and I looked at him serious as I could, and I said, "Oh, yes, sir." He says, "Oh, yes." I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "The whole family just eat up with Southern Baptist disorder." And he goes, oh, and he starts looking in his computer for Southern Baptist disorder. And I immediately tried to stop him. Hey, that was just humor. And he's back to his computer, and I'm like, oh, he didn't understand the word humor. Hey, that was a joke. He's back to his computer, and I thought, wow, he didn't understand humor or joke. I thought everybody understands funny. I'll say I was being funny, and just as I was about to say I was being funny, once again, trying to, reel him in, and he reaches down under his desk, and he pulls out this medical journal, psychiatric journal, I assume, about that thick. He starts flipping through it, and I was just about to try to explain to him he was looking for something that wasn't in that book, and all of a sudden I thought, or I could amuse myself a little bit and just see, how long he looks, where this goes, and a little bit kind of like my boys, when they're having a fit, don't tire themselves out. Are they trying to prove I'm wrong about something? Let them find out the hard way, So I just decided to back off. Next thing I know, he stands up with this book, horribly puzzled look on his face. He turns around, walks out the door. Says, "What you want, Dad?" So now I'm sitting there, first time to VA, not happy about it. Been a long time since I went in a building, And I got a little nervous sitting there at the door closed, wondering what was going on out in the world, a little paranoid. I decided to open up the door so I could at least see out. And as long as I was opening the door, I decided to stick my head out in the hall and see if I saw my doctor. I did see my doctor. He's standing down there with 3 other doctors, just like him, foreign, speaking, another language. And they was all gathered around that journal going, and they was trying to figure out what in the world Southern Baptist disorder was. And that's when I took a left turn and just followed the exit signs out of the building. Got in my car, went home, didn't let nobody know I was leaving, didn't schedule another appointment or anything. This is kind of long, so I'll make another video about my first actual good psychiatric visit, my first good accurate diagnosis. But that is how Southern Baptist disorder was born. I hope they got it in their book by now. Peace out, everybody.